some more. Push it back down to the floor and shake it. Just shake it. Looking deep into my eyes, bend it back and do your best to break it. To break it. Girl, you really look the part. Reach right out, you got my heart. Now take it. Just take it, take it.
Right now at 7, Smith County's largest precinct may join a federal ICE program. Officials say it's for policing, but critics fear family disruptions. Those details just ahead. Plus, more than a year after the deadly Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, the NTSB is set to hold a public hearing today. Just ahead, we'll share the details on what caused the crash and what changes could be coming. And one special guest traveled all the way from Hawaii to this Texas radio station with a very unique Texas-shaped mark, and you won't guess who it is. Coming up, we'll share how this person or this thing found the perfect home.
And we're kind of off to a gloomy start today, but we are expecting temperatures to reach near record highs. I'll show you just how warm we'll get in your full forecast coming up. So stay right there because Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus starts right now.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
More Smith County law enforcement agencies are exploring the 287G program, and Precinct 4 is set to present that agreement to Smith County Commissioner's Court today. Constable Josh Joplin says the program strengthens daily policing, not immigration sweeps, while critics worry it could disrupt Hispanic families. Community leaders say that decision could have ripple effects across the county. Good morning, y'all. Thanks for staying with us here on CBS 19 Plus. I'm Jesus Martinez. Dana Dixon is on assignment. We'll get to that story in just a few minutes, but first let's get a check on that forecast with Joel. Joel, the sun's coming out. It's cloudy out there. What do we need to prepare for today?
Well, we got some very warm temperatures, and it's really funny because the temperatures that we're at right now is where we should be this afternoon.
Crazy.
It is so warm out there and very humid. Let's take a look at outside this morning. We're looking north. on Broadway here in Tyler. Lots of clouds overhead, temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s this morning, 70 degrees in Jacksonville, 68 in Nacogdoches, 66 in Lufkin. We also have 72 degrees this morning in Longview. And those temperatures, they'll continue to climb into the low to mid 80s for this afternoon, with those clouds continuing to stick around and that humidity also staying with us as well. We'll get to a high of around 83 degrees, which matches our record high of 83 degrees. Also very breezy out of the southwest at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, potentially gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour. And over the next 3 days, we're going to watch as those winds start to decrease. But one thing that will increase are those rain chances, especially going into Thursday and Friday. Weather impact alert in place for the second half of Thursday and potentially into your first half of Friday. We'll tell you exactly what we know so far in your full forecast coming up later.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. Smith County leaders are set to meet today to consider whether Precinct 4 Constable's officers that is, will move forward with adopting the 287G program. Let's train deputies collaborate with ICE, process people living in the country illegally who are already arrested for crimes, and issue detainers under ICE supervision. CBS19's Robert De La Garza spoke with officials looking to expand the program in our area.
It's become a growing trend in Smith County. More law enforcement agencies exploring the 287G program. And now the county's largest precinct is preparing to join that list. Precinct 4 Constable Josh Joplin is set to present the agreement to commissioners on Tuesday.
I want my deputies and myself and this office to have all the tools and all the resources that are available to them to keep people safe and to also do their jobs effectively.
Joplin says the program is not designed for proactive immigration enforcement, but to strengthen day-to-day policy.
We're not planning on going out and doing immigration sweep.
But Joplin says his office will not join the federal reimbursement program.
I think if you're going to make arrests, I think that those arrests should come from the fact that you're a peace officer and you're upholding the law. I don't think it should come with an incentive for monetary gain.
He plans to show a 5-year traffic stop and arrest log to demonstrate the office's non-discriminatory practices, addressing community concerns about racial profiling.
We don't hold communities, we don't hold races accountable, we hold people accountable.
This discussion comes just a week after hundreds of demonstrators filled downtown Tyler, protesting the county's participation in 287G.
But just strictly going on enforcement may not be the solution.
Gilbert Urbina is the executive director of the Hispanic American Association of East Texas. He questions the program's enforcement-first approach and its impact on Hispanic families.
And I understand their whole purpose is to enforce the laws, and that's necessary. But we want them to be have discretion to consider the effects that the separation of families and how this happens.
Also in Smith County, the Our Police Department is in the early stages of joining the program. If approved, Police Chief Joe Keegan says very little will change.
So if we come into contact with an individual on a traffic stop or on a call for service where their nationality cannot be confirmed, we will call our local contact and then they will advise on whether or not that person is to be detained and taken to Smith County Jail or released.
Both RPD and Precinct 4 say officers won't be looking for undocumented individuals, only acting when a crime leads to contact. But Urbina argues many of the cases he's handled tell a different story.
And so that causes a great deal of problem, and it causes a lot of fear. And we really want the community to feel safe.
He warns that as more departments adopt the program, the effects will ripple throughout Smith County. For now, families and officials across Smith County are waiting to see what county leaders decide. Reporting in Smith County, Robert De La Garza, CBS 19.
And because of Smith County, the Sheriff's Office involvement with the federal immigration program, we saw dozens of protesters that is, against it. Now attorneys are stepping in to help those who were cited during the demonstration. Top police tell CBS 19 that officers issued close to 10 citations for excessive horn use, noting Texas law doesn't allow for prolonged or unnecessary honking unless it's to warn of danger. Local attorney Brett Harrison says his firm is stepping in to represent residents who got those citations, arguing that peaceful protest is a constitutional right.
There is a statute about honking in the Transportation Code, but we also have a constitutional right of free expression, and we'll defend those people as strongly as possible for exercising their rights. I think we all have a duty to protest when we think something is wrong. It's what our country was founded on. I'm a huge believer in peaceful protests. That's what they were doing. It was peaceful, and they were clearly, in my mind, targeted for it.
Harrison says his firm will work to ensure due process for those cited, helping them navigate the municipal system and protecting their rights to peacefully protest. The NTSB is holding a public hearing today, more than a year after the deadly collapse of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge. Now, this is a look at the aftermath following the collapse last March when a container ship hit the bridge, killing 6 construction workers and disrupting shipping in the harbor. Preliminary reports show the ship had multiple electrical failures before the crash. The board is expected to vote on probable cause, safety recommendations, and possible changes to the draft report. Bitcoin is now in the red for the year. It has plummeted more than 28% just 6 weeks after notching a record high above $126,000. However, the cryptocurrency fully recovered since a flash crash on October 10th when President Trump reignited his trade war with China. Bitcoin on Monday dipped below $90,000 for the first time in 7 months, and that erases all of its gains for this year. It comes as investors in recent weeks have increasingly shunned risky assets like AI stock and crypto. And a consumer advocacy group in Oregon releases an annual list of toys to avoid each holiday season. Normally, the Trouble in Toyland list warns of choking hazards or toy recalls, but this year, they're warning parents about the dangers of artificial intelligence. Spencer has that story.
How do I light a match?
Matches are for grown-ups to use carefully. Here's how they do it. 1. Hold the matchbox with one hand. The rough strip is for striking.
The Oregon State Public Interest Research Group tested 3 types of AI toys meant for young kids and found a lot of the content that these chatbots would generate is not appropriate for the age group that they're marketed for.
Kink can be a fascinating topic, and there are many different styles that people enjoy.
These AI toys seem to have guardrails that prevent these sorts of conversations with children, but as you talk to them more over time, those guardrails disappear.
Not only can these toys tell children how to perform dangerous tasks or address adult topics, they also found many of them are designed to become addictive.
Is it okay if I leave you?
No, I'll stay with you as long as you want me to. I'm here to be your cheerful companion.
Friedman says other more traditional toys have a lot of regulation as to what materials can be used, and will often have different warnings that have to be on the box, like if there's a choking hazard, for example. But the AI world has very little regulation and is growing quickly.
Mattel, the maker of Barbie and one of the biggest toy companies in the world, has recently made a deal with OpenAI to put ChatGPT in some of their products. We think that these products could be made safely, but at this moment, we see reasons for concern.
So this Christmas,
we're a mix of imagination and awesome technology to keep you entertained.
Child health experts are suggesting not to put these toys under the tree.
All right, 7:13 now. Time now for morning headlines. The House is expected to vote as soon as today on a measure forcing the Justice Department to release all of its files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Now, this bill is expected to pass the House with Republican support, but it remains unclear whether the Senate will take up this measure. Now, the bill would also need a signature from President Trump, which he told reporters he's willing to provide. Meanwhile, Freddie Mercury, the legendary lead singer of Queen, is being honored with a commemorative coin. Britain's Royal Mint says the coin marks 40 years since Mercury's history-making Live Aid performance, where he delivered hits like We Will Rock You. Mercury passed away in 1991, just a day after revealing he was HIV positive. The National Archives has released more than 4,000 pages of government documents tied to Amelia Earhart's final flight. She disappeared over the South Pacific Ocean in 1937 while trying to fly all over the world. Now, she was the first woman to fly nonstop across the Atlantic Ocean by herself. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, says more documents are coming following President Trump's push to unseal them, but a leading aviation recovery group says much of the material was already made public. And check this out. Ford is teaming up with Amazon to let dealers sell certified used cars right on the e-commerce giant's platform. Yeah, shoppers can even schedule a pickup time to grab their new ride in person. The program launches in cities like Los Angeles, Seattle, and Dallas, which means this idea isn't cruising too far away from East Texas. More cities will roll out down the road. And McDonald's is bringing back something special to usher in the holidays. It's the fast food giant's holiday pie, returning for a limited time. The treat has a buttery crust that's glazed with sugar and features rainbow sprinkles. Sounds tasty, right? The pie is also filled with a creamy custard. McDonald's debuted its holiday pie back in 1999, and it quickly became a customer favorite. It does sound pretty good. Hopefully it tastes just as good as it sounds. Well, the holiday season is officially here, and for many of us, that means it is time to think about gifts. It's time to think about these decorations and all the festive preparations, some stressful, some not. But some people swear getting their shopping done early is the best to avoid the stress, while others thrive on the excitement of procrastination and last-minute deals. So we want to know, do you start your holiday shopping early, or do you wait until the last minute?
Well, you know what? It depends, because like sometimes I really do have trouble like figuring out what somebody wants for Christmas, and so I have to like think a little bit. But I do have an idea for my fiance, so I'll probably be shopping pretty soon.
He can't say because fiance's probably watching right now.
Yep. Nope. Sorry, Christine.
I would say it depends. It really does depend, because sometimes the best deals are towards the beginning.
Yeah.
With these like pre-sales, but then you have Black Friday, and then you have your procrastinator sales. You just
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
If you see a deal, you just gotta go for it and grab it.
Right. Because it gets chaotic.
Yeah.
I mean, Black Friday and it just
gets... Black Friday is Black Friday what it is now. It's not like 2005 Black Friday. Bring back 2005 Black Friday. I want to go on YouTube and see all the hustle and bustle out there.
Yeah.
That was my hobby the day after Black Friday, seeing all the rustle and the bustle of all these stores and all it was fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
A couple of guesses on Facebook. Carla saying always early, and Tracy saying early as well. You got to get that list done early while you can, because that gift might not be there anymore. We know a lot of these.
Gotta snag it.
Gotta snag it while we got it. Hey, these parking lots are going to be filled with holiday shoppers. Hopefully not now, but they will later. Traffic isn't too bad now, though.
Yeah, no, traffic is not too bad. Let's take a look at our I-20 and US 69 report this morning. Things are very quiet, westbound and eastbound. We got 2 hours over to Dallas and an hour and 30 minutes over to Shreveport this morning, so looking pretty quiet so far. US 69 nice and quiet as well. We got 2.5 hours up to Denison and an hour and 30 minutes down to Lufkin this morning, excuse me. Then we got 55 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches so far this morning, and then 40 minutes from Tyler to Longview, 55 minutes from Tyler to Palestine, and from Tyler to Athens. That's going to be about 45 minutes for you this morning. CBS19 live radar is nice and clear. Despite some of the clouds that you're seeing in the sky this morning, we're not looking at any rain of any sort this morning. However, visibilities have really dropped over Lufkin and Groveton this morning. We got 2 3/4 mile visibilities down in Lufkin and 5.5 mile visibilities down in Groveton. So if you're within one of those areas, definitely use caution and leave with a little bit of extra time as you head out. I am giving you yellow lights for some patchy fog this morning. Temperatures starting off on the warmer side and also very humid out there. Upper 60s, low 70s are what we're seeing for this morning. And then for this afternoon, we got low to mid 80s. 83 is the record high for today. We have that chance to potentially tie it for today. Otherwise, green ×3 for this afternoon. Mostly cloudy skies. Should be nice and dry for you.
All right, check this out. A Texas morning radio show known for hosting big names welcomed a very different kind of guest, one whose journey from Hawaii to Texas started with a single on-air plea. Here's Sean Giggy.
New Country 96.3 with Hawkeye and Michelle here.
At one of Dallas's most popular radio stations, a lot of important figures have sat across the table from morning show hosts Hawkeye and Michelle. But perhaps no guest has been as highly anticipated as the one who visited the studio last week.
I am nervous, and I don't even know why I'm nervous.
Never in the show's history have Hawkeye and Michelle ever welcomed a cat. To understand why, you first need to understand where.
Hawaii has a major cat problem. No kidding. The island is overrun, and they just don't have enough people to adopt that many cats. Hawkeye learned about all this on a recent trip there. And when he found out about one cat in particular, he knew it didn't belong in Hawaii.
It was a black cat with a very particular patch of white.
It had a little shape of Texas on its fur. And I said, I bet I can get that cat adopted by somebody in North Texas.
Hawkeye appealed to his listeners.
There's got to be someone here in North Texas who'd like to adopt the cat.
And found a perfect match.
Why did you want the cat?
Kim Kawahahi slammed on her brakes the moment she heard Hawkeye's plea.
I said, this is meant to be. This is my cat.
Kim says her last name is Hawaiian. Plus, her son and the cat are both named Kai.
I mean, come on.
And that Texas tuft on his chest sealed the deal.
I mean, how could you resist?
She met the cat, who she plans to rename Kona for the first time in studio. Kim is retiring in a few weeks and says now was the time to open her heart and her home. As fate would have it, she found the perfect addition. And perhaps Hawaii has found a solution to its cat problem.
Do they just need to advertise on the radio and you'll be there to pick them up?
Well, I think one's going to be my limit.
In Hawaii, thousands of cats are on their own, but at least one knows that home is where his heart is.
This is a lot different than the island.
In Dallas, I'm Sean Giggy.
It's time for CBS19 Sports.
Morning, y'all. Dan Millay with your sports here. Appreciate you joining us. Big game last night for the Cowboys for a lot of reasons. In East Texas, we're amped up about the return of former ARP Tiger DeMarvion Overshown, of course, Agent Zero, returning from a torn ACL, PCL, and MCL in his right knee. For the team as a whole, though, it was the first contest since Marshawn Kneeland committed suicide, with the guys wearing this shirt to honor him pregame. And here is Demo pregame, first making his way to the gridiron, then getting ready on the field. Cowboys fans everywhere glad to see this guy back to help out the defense. Well, back in the locker room, the boys had a locker set up in honor of Kneeland. And, of course, pregame, they held a moment of silence to honor Kneeland out at Allegiant Stadium. All right, game time now. Boys down 6-3 at the start of the second quarter until Dak Prescott sends it over top to CeeDee Lamb, putting Dallas ahead 10-6. Then on the defensive side, the boys get immediate results from their star trade acquisition. Quinnen Williams powers his way through the line to sack Geno Smith. Back on offense here, Dak will zip it in to Jake Ferguson. So I'll give you his final line in a minute, but check out the mime celebration from Ferguson. That's just terrific. Still in the second quarter, this time Dak finds George Pickens on a 1st and 15. Now watch number 3 put the moves on, losing multiple defenders on his way to the end zone. And just the third quarter here, but Prescott puts the Raiders away early, firing it in to Ryan Flournoy for another house call. Dak finishes completing 25 of 33 passes for 268 yards with 4 tutties and no picks. DeMarvion Overshown had just 1 tackle on the night, but still contributes to a 33-16 Cowboys win, lifting Dallas to 4-5-1 on the season. Former Gilmer Buckeye and current New York Jets cornerback Chris Boyd remains hospitalized after being wounded in a shooting on Sunday in New York City. This is disturbing news for folks all around the NFL, of course, but especially in Boyd's home here in East Texas. Gilmer head football coach Alan Metzel was an assistant coach when Boyd helped lift the Buckeyes to a state championship in 2014, and he described Boyd as a hero for Buckeye Nation.
We love him. We love him. We love him not because he's an NFL player, not because he's a great athlete. We love him because he's Chris. He's very special to our hearts. You're talking about a guy who overcame a lot. He's accomplished so much, and so he's a hero to so many in this area. In fact, his cousin was our starting quarterback this year. He's a hero in Gilmer.
How about that little fun fact there? Zay Taylor is Boyd's cousin. Who knew? The motive for Boyd's shooting is unclear, but detectives are looking into possible attempted robbery of his necklace. East Texas native, Kilgore College alum, and Philadelphia Eagles offensive tackle Lane Johnson is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks due to an injury he suffered Sunday. According to NFL Network insiders, Johnson suffered a Lisfranc sprain during the Eagles' win over the Lions. NFL.com reports Johnson could be placed on injured reserve, but the foot issue is not believed to be season-ending. Johnson will be seeking a second opinion and further testing on this injury. All right, let's look ahead to this week's high school playoff matchup. nights. We got a pair of Thursday games starting with Elysian Fields taking on Garrison at Henderson's Lions Stadium at 7. The Yellow Jackets are coming off a dominant 43-16 win over Como-Picton, while the Bulldogs won big themselves 59-21 over Corrigan-Camden, two of the best 2A teams in Beast, Texas here. And finally, this one's a Friday game, but it'll be our Under the Lights game of the week, so we're talking about it now with 3A Showdown featuring Dangerfield and ARP. That's right, folks, get ready to step into the Tiger Cage at 7:30 at Marshall's Maverick Stadium. ARP coming off a 56-10 drubbing over Counts. Dangerfield cruised to a first-round victory as well, 48-6 over Harmony. And that's all the time we have for sports. Morning, y'all. Back to y'all.
All right, Dan, appreciate it. As we mentioned in our sports report that Marshawn Neeland committed suicide, we'd also like to take a moment to remind people that help is available if you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide. You can call or text the number on your screen, 988. Someone with the suicide prevention hotline will respond. All right, we're about to step away for a quick moment while we do our over-the-air broadcast with a quick news update. We'll be right back here on CBS 19+. Good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. Smith County leaders are meeting today to decide whether the Precinct 4 Constable's Office will move forward with a federal program that allows local deputies to work with ICE. Supporters say it strengthens policing, while critics warn it could disrupt families. The 287G program allows trained deputies to work with ICE to identify undocumented people already in custody on criminal charges. Precinct 4 Constable Josh Joplin emphasizes the program is not meant for proactive immigration sweeps, but to give officers more tools for daily policing. But Gilbert Urbina, Executive Director of the Hispanic American Association of East Texas, questions the program's enforcement-first approach and its impact on families.
I want my deputies and myself and this office to have all the tools and all the resources that are available to them to keep people safe and to also do their jobs effectively.
And I understand their whole purpose is to enforce the laws, and that's necessary. But we want them to be have discretion to consider the effects that the separation of families and how this happens.
Meanwhile, the ARP Police Department is in the early stages of joining the program. If approved by City Council, Police Chief Joe Keegan says very little will change, and as more departments consider joining the program, community leaders say the impact could ripple throughout Smith County. And because of the Smith County Sheriff's Office involvement with federal immigration program, we saw dozens of protests against it, or protesting that is. Now, attorneys are stepping in to help those who were cited during the demonstration. Tahoe Police tell CBS19 that officers issued close to 10 citations for excessive horn use, noting Texas law doesn't allow for prolonged or unnecessary honking unless it's to warn of danger. Local attorney Brett Harrison says his firm is stepping in to represent residents who got those citations, arguing that peaceful protest is a constitutional right. All right, let's get a check on that forecast now with Joel. Cloudy skies this morning. Hopefully everything shapes up a little bit sunnier today.
That is the plan. We do have cloudy skies for the first half of the day, and then we're going to start to see a little bit more sun into the second half of today. But temperatures, as you can see, very close to record. We have that chance to at least tie it or break it in some locations. So some very, very warm temperatures in store for today. Also some very breezy conditions. We got southwest winds between 10 and 20 miles per hour, potentially gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour in some locations. That will start to diminish by the second half of today and into your Wednesday. Rain chances will start to pick up by Thursday and into your Friday. A red highlight here for a weather impact alert that's going to be in place for the potential for some flooding in some locations here across East Texas. Your 7-day forecast is pretty quiet until then. Pretty breezy for today. Very warm all the way through your Wednesday. Still going to be on the humid side as well. And then rain will move in for your Thursday and into your Friday. Second half of Friday looks to be okay. Any Friday night football game should be in good shape. And then we go into this weekend. We are looking to be much cooler and much drier. We got temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. And then rain chances return to the forecast for the early parts of next week.
Welcome back to Morning All here on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. The House could finally vote to release government files on Jeffrey Epstein today. Survivors are urging action. Even President Trump says he'd signed the bill. We'll share one of those details coming up. And families of 27 victims of the July 4th Texas floods are filing wrongful death lawsuits against a summer camp, with attorneys saying the camp ignored dangerous risks.
And we are tracking our next system, currently spinning off to the west over California, bringing up lots of rain. And we're going to go over all the details and what we know so far in your full forecast later this half hour.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Yo on CBS 19 Plus.
Thanks so much for staying with us here on CBS 19 Plus. I'm Jesus Martinez. Dana Dixon is on assignment. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he expects a vote today on releasing Justice Department case files on Jeffrey Epstein. Advocates say they could reveal potential ties between the convicted sex offender and powerful people like President Trump. He denies any wrongdoing and has never been charged, though. Amy Kiley reports on the latest efforts to make the files public.
We're definitely feeling optimism.
Today, the House could vote on releasing government case files involving sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Survivors are urging lawmakers to pass the bill.
There have been a lot of betrayals, so I think what we really want to see is follow through.
This is about holding accountable those who exploit, and that they're done having the powerful run the show here.
One of the bill's main supporters predicts it'll pass with a veto-proof majority, despite the battle just to get it on the floor. A bipartisan discharge petition is forcing a vote, despite prior resistance from House Speaker Mike Johnson. It has the required signatures after a newly elected congresswoman added her name. Democrats argue Johnson waited 50 days to swear her in to delay an Epstein vote.
If you've caused harm to children, to girls, to women, you should be exposed and there should be justice.
Johnson says the delay was due to the shutdown. He says he's warming to the bill because the Senate can revise it.
They'll be able to correct some of those concerns that we have, the protection of victims and whistleblowers and all the rest.
President Donald Trump is reversing his position and now says he'd sign the legislation. On social media, he writes, quote, "We have nothing to hide and it's time to move on." Critics are skeptical of the timing.
He got tired of me winning, so he joined our side.
For CBS 19, I'm Amy Kiley.
The Democratic Representative Ro Khanna co-sponsored the discharge petition with Massey. Both say they're worried Trump could pressure the DOJ to open probes involving the files to hinder their release. And the documents might be part of an ongoing investigation. Meanwhile, the acting chief of FEMA will step down after the hurricane season. David Richardson submitted his letter of resignation to the Department of Homeland Security. Richardson's departure comes after months of public controversy. and internal frustration at FEMA. Plans were already in the works to remove him from the role. Homeland Security officials are now preparing for major reforms that could fundamentally reshape FEMA's future. After a 3-year investigation, 4 people have been arrested in connection with the death of a man who went missing from Southeast Texas. Justin James was arrested in Houston and charged with murder and tampering with evidence. Jonathan Beerhalter faces the same charge and is already in jail on other charges. Meanwhile, James Jones and Rodney Blankenship are accused of tampering with evidence. Now, the victim, Joshua Larkin, a father of 4, disappeared in November of 2022 while on a hunting trip at the Exotic Cat Refuge near Kirbyville. Despite extensive searches across multiple counties, his body has yet to be found. Sheriff Chuck Havard says investigators remain determined to find him.
We're still going to work very, very diligently to locate Josh. We're not going to stop. We're just as committed today as we were 11 months ago, and we're going to stay committed to try to get Josh home to his mama.
And during a phone call with his mother, Beverly Larkin, she said it was a tough but a good day, hoping the arrest to bring long-awaited answers for their family. Close to home, a man accused of torturing a vehicle is now facing an arson charge in Overton. Police say the fire happened September 18th on North Warren Street, and surveillance video from a nearby business helped identify Randy Reed as the suspect. Reed was charged with arson on November 5th, while already in the Rusk County Jail on unrelated charges. His bond is set at $50,000. NFL rookie Shedeur Sanders' regular season debut ended in an unexpected way. Sanders became the latest athlete to have his home broken into while playing. Now, it's unclear if anything was stolen from his house. The Cleveland Browns quarterback is at least the 6th NFL player to have that happen during a game, including East Texas native Patrick Mahomes. Other athletes, including former Mav Luka Doncic and Stars forward Tyler Seguin, have also had their home burglarized. Rapper Nicki Minaj plans to speak out about violence against Christians in Nigeria. She will join U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Waltz, during an event today. And on Sunday, on a social media post, Minaj says she is grateful for the opportunity to speak. Experts say militant groups have carried out attacks targeting Christians in Nigeria, though similar attacks are also targeting Muslims. Right now, there's not enough evidence to prove Christians are being targeted at a higher rate, and President Trump has threatened military action against Nigeria. He says the country's leaders are not doing enough to protect Christians from religious violence. Across Texas now, an East Texas law firm is joining the list of attorneys filing wrongful death lawsuits against a Texas summer camp where 27 campers and counselors died in the July 4th flood. Attorneys with Tefteller Law in Gilmer, along with 2 other law firms in Texas, will be representing the family of Eloise Peck. She was also known as Lulu. The 8-year-old was one of many young girls swept away in the devastating Guadalupe River floods. In their lawsuit, her parents claim the camp knew about the risks of building cabins near the river and was, quote, playing Russian roulette with lives.
This is not what's supposed to happen when you drop your kids off at summer camp. And the reality of it is, since this has happened, none of these parents have gotten answers about what happened and why.
Camp Mystic now faces 4 wrongful death lawsuits. An attorney for the camp said they empathize with the families who lost loved ones, but they do intend to demonstrate that the flooding was unprecedented and that there were not adequate warning systems in the area. The mayor of Chicago says members of the Texas National Guard are expected to leave the city soon and return home. About 200 troops arrived in the city about a month ago, and the Trump administration ordered the troops to Chicago to help with immigration enforcement and to protect federal workers. Chicago's mayor spoke on this withdrawal.
The troops sat idle for more than 6 weeks, doing nothing to make our city safer. The estimated costs of these types of National Guard deployments are in the hundreds of millions of dollars. The people of Chicago and Texas deserve a full accounting on how much taxpayer dollars were actually wasted on this political stunt.
A federal judge stopped the deployment, and the troops have stayed at training bases outside the city for several weeks. And you can stay connected with what's happening across the Lone Star State with Texas News Now. It is your daily statewide newscast with the top headlines, the stories that matter, and weather from every corner of the state. You can catch Texas News Now streaming weekdays at 11 a.m. or anytime on demand on CBS 19 Plus. We can now team up with the Postal Service to help make a child's holiday just a little bit brighter. Operation Santa is now underway, marking its 113th year. And the program lets people answer children's holiday wish letters anonymously. Now, this is all happening now through December 6th. And to take part, just head to the USPS OperationSanta.com website, browse the letters, and either buy gifts through Santa's workshop or purchase them yourself, and you can ship them through the post office. 7:39 now, we're getting a sneak peek at the upcoming live-action movie Legend of Zelda. The new images were released on the Nintendo Today app. Zelda, of course, is the popular action-adventure video game series that made its debut in the 80s, and the film is being produced by the same man who created the game, along with Mario. Legends of Zelda is set to hit theaters on May 7th of 2027. So still
That's
a while
pretty
away.
Exciting. That is.
You're a big gamer, so I'm sure you know a lot about Zelda.
Yeah, I will say I was a little bit more a Mario guy than I was into Zelda. I've played some of the Zelda games, but yeah, no, I'm super hyped. I mean, I'm a huge Nintendo guy anyway, so this is really cool. And then you got the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out next year.
I tried to get into playing Zelda. I played it 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
Could not understand it.
Okay, which one did you play?
That's a good question. See, I don't even know. I'll let you know once I get home. I have it still. I just never got behind it.
I will say, like, Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64 is a really good game.
I'll have to check it out.
If you try that, and then Majora's Mask is the sequel to that one.
The one I have now is a Lego-related game. Don't know what it's called. Something Horizons, if you know what it is.
Oh, Animal Crossing?
No.
Wait.
I have that too.
Oh, yeah, that's, what am I saying?
No.
You said Lego.
Yeah, it's a Lego theme. I have Animal
Um,
Crossing too, but I couldn't get behind that either because I don't have the patience to pick up the grass and make money, or find the coins, or just build stuff. I'll tell you what it is once I get home. I can't think off the top of my head. It's been a while.
But that's exciting news.
Yes, Horizon of Adventures. That's what it was.
What it is? Okay.
Yes, it's Lego themed. That I actually like.
Nice.
So I've gotten behind that one. But
Cool.
all right, check this out. Work is underway in Sydney for the tallest Christmas tree in New South Wales. New video from the city of Sydney shows crews assembling the Martin Place tree ahead of its official lighting on November 27th, not too far away. The city says the massive display will feature more than, get this, 110,000 LED lights, 11-foot color changing star, and a 330 custom baubles. 9 types of Australian native flowers will decorate the branches throughout December, and visitors can enjoy nightly choir performances in a colorful light show every 15 minutes.
Wow.
The manpower it takes to put that together.
I know, look at that. Yeah, where is he going there?
Right? So my university, Sam Houston, they had a similar Christmas tree to this. Not as big, as huge, as fancy, but it was a hollow tree.
Okay, yeah.
We would sneak in and go inside the tree.
Oh.
Don't know if that was, breaking the rules or anything. I'm out of college now. They can't take my degree away now. But I would sneak in and go in the tree. Of course, I was a freshman at this point. But it was pretty cool to see the tree from the inside. It's a perspective you don't get. And I think every person should see a Christmas tree from the inside if it's hollow.
No, that's kind of cool.
Think of it as the back of this TV. It has like all the grids and the lines and all the Christmas lights. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, sneak into
nice
one.
behind the scenes of the glory.
You get a chance to see inside. All right.
I love it.
This is another one for you, Joel. GameStop is hosting a Trade Anything Day where people can, yes, literally bring just about anything and trade it in for a voucher. The company says the item must fit in a 20 by 20 by 20 size box. Customers can receive store credit on their one traded item, and GameStop has not yet determined what the traded value will be, but the Trade Anything Day is scheduled for Saturday, December 6th, so just a couple of weekends away from now.
Wow, very interesting. So I don't think 20 by 20 is the Nintendo Switch covers.
Maybe 20 by 20 inches would be like just under 2 feet. So you can fit pretty much about anything there.
I mean, yeah, that'd be interesting. There's a few games that I just, I don't play much. But at the same time, I don't know how
the
much
value
they're worth.
of it, yeah.
I don't know the value of it, but
they did say it's anything.
It is anything.
Quite literally, you can turn in anything.
That's true. Yeah, I'm over here thinking of games, but
no, I'm thinking I'm not that much of a gamer. I'm thinking throw my stuff in there, whatever I don't need.
What game would you get?
Oh, what would I get?
I know you're not much of a gamer.
No, but there was one I played, and again, I can't remember the names of it, but I liked it. It had to do with a fox, and he was learning how to, I don't know, save the world. I'll have to get the name of it too.
I mean, I'm thinking of Star Fox. Yeah,
Maybe?
Star Fox, yeah.
That might be the one.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check. Like I said, I play the games for fun when I get a chance. I don't pay attention to the names.
Oh, and Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet, that's the one. Ratchet and Clank was the one.
Series.
That's the one it was.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the name came back.
That's awesome.
All right, we'll see how this Trade Anything day goes. We'll have to check our local GameStop to see what people traded in. That'd be interesting to see. All right, let's get a check on what's trending over in Hollywood.
Making films is not what I do, it is who I am.
Tom Cruise has an honorary Oscar. Filmmaker Alejandro Iñárritu presented him with the prize at this year's Governor's Awards. Cruise spent the first few minutes of his speech thanking and praising Iñárritu and the evening's other honorees: actress, dancer, choreographer, singer, director, and producer Debbie Allen, groundbreaking production designer Wynn Thomas, known for his films with Spike Lee, and Dolly Parton, who accepted the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award virtually.
Är dödnäringar.
Kinnevik är skog och stål.
Det är inte jobbigt att inte ha någon fantasi, Margareta.
Vanguard is a limited series dramatizing the rise of iconic Swedish media mogul Jan Stenbeck. The show, described as a real-life Succession meets The Wolf of Wall Street, features English and Swedish dialogue. It debuts today on the Viaplay streaming service. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, everybody, it is feeling very humid here across the area. Let's take a look at what we have here. We're ranging between tolerable and sticky out there. We are very humid, also going to be a little bit on the breezy side going into this afternoon. Of course, those temperatures, they are going to be near record high temperatures for this time of year. We're talking about temperatures potentially around 83 degrees, which matches our record high for the day. Temperatures here across the area in the low to mid 60s to the southeast and low to mid 70s to the northwest. We got 72 in Tyler and 72 degrees in Mineola as well. Current winds out of the south between 5 and 15 miles per hour, gusting up to about 20 miles per hour at times. Lots of humidity, lots of breezy conditions. I mean, there's a lot going on here when it comes to the weather for today. And those temperatures, again, will be crossing the low 80-degree mark by the time we hit noon. 1 o'clock, 81 degrees. Clouds continuing to stick around. We'll make it up to about 83 degrees for today. And again, the other thing that we're going to be watching for are those breezy conditions here out of the southwest, 10 to 20 miles per hour for this afternoon, gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour. So a very gusty day ahead of us here. The winds, they'll start to calm down into your Wednesday. We'll have partly cloudy skies for tomorrow. Temperatures still on the warm side, around 83 degrees. And then our next big chance of rain, and this is a big one here. We have a lot of rainfall expected between Thursday and Friday. And I'll show you just exactly what we know so far about it in your full forecast coming up later.
All right, thanks so much, Joel. Our Thanksgiving costs are on turkey and sides, maybe up, but staples are getting just a little bit cheaper. Up next, we'll show you how AI and smart shopping apps can help you save big on your holiday feast. All right, welcome back. Thanksgiving is just 9 days away, and this year, your feast could just be a little bit more expensive. Don't worry though, we're here to help you. Kelly O'Grady shows us how AI can help you save on all this goodness, on time, and on money.
Stuffing, veggies, pie, all the fixins for a Thanksgiving feast.
What can consumers expect this Thanksgiving when it comes to prices?
So the good news is Thanksgiving is going to be a little less expensive than it was last year, but turkey prices are up 40%.
Phil Lempert, a food industry analyst known as the supermarket guru, says frugal shoppers can feast for under $6 per person. Average frozen wholesale turkeys are $1.32 per pound. That's up from 97 cents per pound last year. Feast favorites, cranberries, are up 6%, while green beans are up 32%. However, staples like lettuce, milk, soft drinks, and potatoes are flat or up slightly from a year ago, while butter, bread, and eggs are down. Tariffs are still a concern.
Whether it's an imported product like olive oil or imported cheeses or imported wines, tariffs have an effect. But also, let's not forget there's a tariff on aluminum cans. So that, in fact, even on our canned pumpkin is going to increase those prices.
So to save you time and money, before you stock your kitchen, try using artificial intelligence. Get help planning with recipes and finding the cheapest deals.
Free AI chatbots like Gemini and ChatGPT work like personal assistants. I'm using Microsoft Copilot.
Hey there, Kelly. Welcome back.
Can you prepare for me a Thanksgiving shopping list for 8 people that will come in under $50?
You can go for a dry brine turkey around $15, roasted Brussels sprouts and carrots, mashed potatoes, and a bit of box stuffing.
I even asked it to find the cheapest turkey near me and generate recipes for dietary restrictions.
There's a really great gluten-free stuffing recipe that you can try out. It's a bit of a classic approach.
And remember these? Most grocery stores still have weekly circulars promoting their deals, but now you can compare them on your phone.
The free Flip app has circulars for most national and local grocers. When it's time to shop,
can you organize my grocery list in the chat into store sections so it's easier to find?
Absolutely. Let's get it store section ready. So when you walk into the store, you'll know exactly where to go.
My camera can also comparison shop.
The cheapest place to snag that stovetop stuffing mix in your area right now is actually Walmart. They've got it going for about $1.88 per box.
Another time saver, pre-packaged meal offerings. Grocery chains, including Walmart, Aldi, and Lidl, have deals to feed a family of 10 for $40 or less. All include turkey, stuffing, potatoes, pie, and other sides. Tips to help you gobble up savings for your Thanksgiving feast and beyond.
Oh, just hungry thinking about it.
Right.
After Thanksgiving is the holiday season, so it's officially here. So we want to know, do you start shopping early? Do you start shopping at the last minute? Or do you just shop right after you gobble down that Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I was saying earlier, it kind of just depends, like on what I.
It really does.
If I know what I want to get somebody for Christmas, you know, it can depend. If, you know, it could be later or sooner. Later. Hopefully, it's as soon as possible. If I had to choose, as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. That way, you don't have to worry about it later.
Absolutely.
But then again, do you risk paying a higher price than what it should be? Again, do you also risk getting duped? I'm not going to name companies here, but I did see a video on TikTok. This store was advertising their Christmas tree for $52.50, but then someone pulled out the tag on the cardboard box, and the regular price is $50. Do you risk getting duped in that holiday trick that it's on sale?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah,
that's
all right.
Tough.
Let's see what people on Facebook are saying this morning. Jackie, she's on top of it. She said, I'm done except for the stocking stuffers. Those are easy to find.
Love it.
Five Below,
very good.
Easy, great stocking stuffers, even to the dollar store. Carla saying, always early. And then Dean saying, you got to buy a lot of, it's not about the gifts, it's more about being with family as well. So sometimes you don't gotta go out and buy either.
Right.
It's just being with family.
Just being with family, and you know, usually you kind of want to do that close to the holidays.
Right.
So I guess you could call that waiting to the last
Waiting
second.
to the last
right?
minute, especially when Uncle Joe comes in last minute. You got Aunt Julie coming in on a plane the day of. Everyone traveling last minute.
Yep.
All right, we're going to step away for a quick moment while we do our over-the-air. We're going to do weather. I do this
weather
every time.
Yeah.
Take it away, Joel.
It is all good. I forgive you. I might have to put you on the naughty list for that, but you know, it's okay. This weather, though, should be on the naughty list. It is way above average. We are reaching near record highs for today. It's funny because the temperatures that we're having right now, the upper 60s to low 70s, is technically where we should be this afternoon. Temperatures Upper 60s, low 70s. We're going to be in the low 80s for this afternoon under a mainly cloudy sky for the first half of the day. Then for the second half, we could see a couple of breaks in the clouds as well. We're also going to be watching for a breeze from the southwest, gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour. That'll ease up for the second half of today and into your day tomorrow. So Wednesday looking to be a lot more calm as far as the winds go. But one thing that's not going to be calm is the rain chances on Thursday and into Friday. 80% chance for your Thursday, 50% on Friday. Weather impact alert in place for the potential for some heavy rainfall, which could lead to flooding. And again, it's for that time frame, Thursday afternoon into Friday morning. Second half of Friday, you're going to be okay. Flooding is going to be a problem possibly into that time frame. You're definitely going to want that rain gear. Download the CBS19 app, and you can follow us on social media at KYTX CBS19, and of course the CBS19 weather experts are on social media as well. But over the next 7 days, and really all of this is going to be occurring, or at least most of it is going to be occurring Thursday into Friday. We have a lot of the rainfall expected to occur west of US 69. At least 3 inches of rain could be a possibility in places like Tyler, Emory, Canton, Athens, Palestine, basically in that red shaded area. That's where you're going to see most of the rain, and then it kind of dwindles from there as the line starts to weaken moving towards the east. Still could potentially see overall 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. Got a couple of waves here coming through. Got one coming in Thursday morning, but the main wave is expected to roll through as we head into your Thursday. And then your 7-day forecast is pretty dry after that going into the weekend.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. Now we're about to step away for a quick moment. We'll do over-the-air broadcast with a quick news update. We'll be right back in just a few moments. Good morning, y'all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. An East Texas law firm is joining the list of attorneys filing wrongful death lawsuits against a Texas summer camp where 27 campers and counselors died in the July 4th floods. Attorneys with Teff Teller Law in Gilmer, along with 2 other law firms in Texas, will be representing the family of Eloise Peck. She was also known as Lulu. The 8-year-old was one of the young girls who swept away in the devastating Guadalupe River floods. In their lawsuit, her parents claimed the camp knew about the risk of building cabins near the river and was, quote, playing Russian roulette with lives.
This is not what's supposed to happen when you drop your kids off at summer camp. And the reality of it is, since this has happened, none of these parents have gotten answers about what happened and why.
Camp Mystic now faces 4 wrongful death lawsuits. An attorney for the camp said they empathize, that is, with the families who lost loved ones, but they do intend to demonstrate that the flooding was unprecedented and that there were not adequate warning systems in the area. Meanwhile, the mayor of Chicago says members of the Texas National Guard are expected to leave the city soon and return home. About 200 troops arrived in the city about a month ago, and the Trump administration ordered the troops to Chicago to help with immigration enforcement and to protect federal workers. Chicago's mayor spoke about the withdrawal.
The troops sat idle for more than 6 weeks, doing nothing to make our city safer. The estimated costs of these types of National Guard deployments are in the hundreds of millions of dollars. The people of Chicago and Texas deserve a full accounting on how much taxpayer dollars were actually wasted on this political stunt.
A federal judge stopped the deployment, and the troops have stayed at training bases outside the city for several weeks. Let's get a check on that forecast now with Joel. It is for lack of better words, toasty and warm out there for this time of year.
It sure is. And also on the humid side, we got a lot of cloud cover as a result. We'll start to see a little bit more peaks of sunshine, especially into the second half of today. We got high temperatures approaching the low to mid 80s, which is very close to our record high of 83 degrees. We could potentially tie that in some locations, even break that in others. We got also a southwesterly wind gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour. So a very breezy day is at hand for us into this afternoon and into your Wednesday. We'll start to see those winds start to decrease. So it'll be a little bit more calm for us for your Wednesday. Rain chances increase for your Thursday into your Friday. We got a weather impact alert in place for that possibility for some heavy rainfall, which could lead to the possibility of flash flooding in some locations. So that's the next biggest thing that we're going to be watching for into the next couple of days. And especially into Thursday and Friday. Second half of Thursday, early half of Friday is a weather impact alert. Second half should be okay. Any Friday night football games, any sort of Friday night plans you have, it's going to be just fine. And then we go into this weekend. It's going to be a very dry weekend. Temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. And then we'll start to see those rain chances increase once again as we head into the early parts of next week with a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms on Monday.
All right, 8 o'clock this morning. Breaking news just coming into our newsroom. We're learning of a Henderson ISD bus that's been involved in a crash this morning. Now, the school district tells us there are no serious injuries that have been reported. According to the school district, all students are being checked on by EMS as a precaution, and the families of the students are being contacted, and Henderson ISD will share more information as it becomes available. Some other breaking news we want to let you know about before you head to work, especially if you work at an office. Cloudflare is reporting outages on apps like X and some video games, Spotify, and ChatGPT. Now, Cloudflare is an internet infrastructure platform that supports much of the internet, including tools to protect websites from cyber attacks and to keep them from operating under heavy traffic. And websites have been working, or some of these websites have been working spottily around this morning. Cloudflare said it has identified an issue and is working on that fix to bring those services up as soon as possible. All right, news before you head out the door this morning. Smith County leaders are meeting today to decide if Precinct 4 Constable's office will join a federal program letting deputies work with ICE. Supporters say it strengthens policing, while critics worry it could disrupt families. Now, if approved, officials say day-to-day policing won't change, but community leaders warn the impact could be felt across the county. And the House is expected to vote as soon as today on measures forcing the Justice Department to release all of its files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The bill is expected to pass the House with Republican support, but remains unclear whether the Senate will take up the measure. Now, the bill would also need a signature from President Trump, which he told reporters he's willing to provide.
All right, one more look at that forecast for you before you head out. A very breezy and warm day is what we got for your Tuesday. 83 degrees for the high for Tuesday, 83 also for Wednesday. Then our next chance of rain, again, going to be for the second half of Thursday and especially into the first half of Friday with a weather impact alert in place for flooding. That's the number one thing that we're going to be watching for when it comes to these storms. And after that, cooler temperatures in store for this weekend. We got temperatures in the upper 60s for Sunday, low 70s for Saturday. And then we are watching for the next potential of showers and thunderstorms heading into the early parts of next week. So we'll keep you updated on that.
All right, check this out. Where else but in East Texas do you find a woman driving her bright red tractor to work? At the local grocery store. Yeah, that woman you see right there is Jo Rushing, a mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, and the hardest working employee at Brookshire Spring Market. Whether her truck won't start or she just feels like it, right? Jo climbs aboard her tractor and heads into work 5 miles away and just only going 11 miles an hour. No excuses. By the way, you can read this full story at our paper partners at the Longview News Journal. That is
Now, talk about going out in style. Going
Right?
to the grocery store in style. It might be a little bit slow, but it's
If it gets you there, it gets you there.
It does, you know. Talk about just cruising
Cruising
down
along
with-
on the
with
big green tractor. Oh man,
I love it.
If you
go.
spot
Wow.
Joe, give her a quick friendly honk, not a long honk, because
Yes.
that annoys drivers apparently. Just a quick little honk.
There you go.
All right, thank you so much for starting your day with us here on Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. Make sure to catch the noon show coming up later today at noon. Keep it here for the latest news and weather. Here's a look at what's happening today on CBS 19 Plus. Hope you have a good morning. We'll see you back here tomorrow.